Our media barely covered the things that happened in South Korea. Does that kind of strike you as odd? Isn't that weird? If you know anything about what happened in South Korea, part of that is because I covered it, right? It's not like there was a lot of news about what was going on with South Korea. The Biden administration barely made a fucking peep about what was going on with South Korea. Doesn't that shock you at all that the incredibly right-wing South Korean leadership tried to do a coup and it failed? And yet, at no point in that process, the American government came out and was like, what the fuck are you guys doing? No, they briefly covered it. They did. It was all over the media, to be honest, is not correct. They covered it, but nowhere to the same degree that they would if it was like, if a similar attempt was happening in a foreign adversary. Like, think about how major of an issue that was. The real reason is because the South Korean leadership was aligned with American interests, no matter how far right they are. The more right-wing they are, the more aligned they are with American interests. That's precisely the reason why the American government did not make a big fuss about a patently undemocratic thing happening in South Korea. Biden talked about the Venezuelan election. Anytime there's any kind of instability happening in Cuba, we cover it relentlessly. American media covers it relentlessly. But it's crazy to me that the previous president, not the acting president, but the previous president tried to do a fucking coup and a martial law and failed to do so. And there was not a single peep from the American administration on the matter.
Some of the mutually satisfactory agreements can be made. I think U.S. can adjust.
Yeah, if it was happening in North Korea, it'd be on 24/7, 365 television all day, all the time. They'd have it on Nickelodeon and Sprout for Babies. They'd have it on Poob. It would be on billboards. They'd have it on Quibi. Okay, they'd have it on Apple Plus. They'd have it on Tenga. You would see it. There would never be a moment where you don't see the people's discontent with the Kim dynasty. Finally. Yeah, it'd be on Schleeb. It'd be on Poob. It'd be on Kibi. It'd be on Tubi.
They already imposed the tariff, depending on the negotiations between the two countries. Then clearly the final outcome, I think, would be much better than one side impose something and the other side is actually retaliates and things like that. So we will take a very cooperative position on this, and we will promote the dialogue. And we have a lot of experience with that kind of, finding out the mutual benefit
but to be clear,
between the two countries.
If I may, to be clear, you do anticipate that this 25% tariff level will not stay. That's your anticipation.
Depending on the negotiations.
That's certainly your hope.
Yes.
Are you optimistic? How do you feel on a gut level these negotiations are going to go?
Well, now about 57.
I could be mega dumb, but what are you implying that the reason is that they aren't covering it? Because America doesn't give a fuck if South Korea is a military dictatorship or a right-wing authoritarian dictatorship that implemented martial law. They care about South Korea being an American military base and a bulwark against socialism in the region. That's the only thing they care about. I'm saying that America's values of uplifting democracy around the world is bullshit. It's never been the case in South Korea to begin with. And it certainly this is certainly another instance where like the American government was more invested in maintaining its allegiance with whoever or whatever controls South Korea than to actually bring up some semblance of like liberal democracy there.
Different countries are actually subject to that kind of tariff. So
25% though, that's pretty steep for friends for generations.
Well, it's a pity because we are evaluated in that way.
Yeah.
But I think that that kind of different assessment can always happen in this kind of situations.
You think it can always happen even though South Korea and the United States have been friends for generations? I guess my point is, should friends really be treating friends like this?
Well,
CNN is trying to get the South Korean acting president to say something mean about Donald Trump, but every Asian leader knows not to do that. Okay? And especially South Korean leadership. Are you kidding me? He is literally basically shoehorning the statement. He's like, come on, dude, give me something that's actionable. Give me something newsworthy. Fucking air his ass out. And he's going to be like, no, of course not. Our relationship is steadfast.
friendship should be compensated by sometimes the mutual economic, financial, and other dimensional aspects. You can never say...
He's like, yeah, we've really been fucking over the American working class. Yeah. Yeah. Trump is right. We have, as a matter of fact, destroyed the American manufacturing personally. I loved doing it, and he's right. I need to be punished. I've been a bad boy.
That relations between the United States and Korea, because we are friends, so everything should be condoned, and we don't care what happens.
Yeah.
I understand
that.
That kind of situations cannot sustainable.
Right. I understand that, friends can't be happy with each other all the time. But I guess, Acting President Han, when you have President Trump calling out South Korea about a month ago at the joint session to Congress, making space in the joint session to call out South Korea, and then slapping a 25% tariff.
Dude, he's really daggering him. He's like, come on, bro. Come on, say something. He literally said, you ain't shit. He said, galbijim ain't that good. He said, what's up with Korean food? Why does it have cheese on it? Why does this Asian food have cheese on it? He said K-pop ain't even nothing, as a matter of fact. He went in front of Congress and said he doesn't fuck with K-pop. Say something. Anything. Hate on the motherfucker.
What was your reaction to that?
Well, for the tough negotiator.
He said, yeah, journalist says, you going to take that, bro? Listen, see, it'd be different if you were saying that about me. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you're you. But he's talking big shit, dude. Come on.
You don't have to have some kind of a permanent and prior perception on what the other party is doing. I think we should,
Oh my God, I just remember. You're right. Trump did criticize Parasite's Best Picture win. He did. He literally did. I would expect Trump to talk shit about BTS or something. Like, I could see that. That's not that far-fetched.
In a very cool way, assess what this kind of 25% means for us. And we should, in a very cool way, should negotiate with them.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Greer, thanks for being here, and I enjoyed our conversation.